Hello everybody and welcome to Moonmoth. We're in a different part again this week. I'm just going to keep relocating and showing you and reminding you of the different areas that we've been in. And if you remember that this area, you might recognize it as we wander through. This is the area where Ahochida and Edga spent most of their time. Now, it has been taken over and Surada mainly resides here now. She tends to it and repurposes the trees in here. And in this direction over here, which is mainly north, that's where her sister Romana resides. Sorry about that. Hearing what sounded like talking behind me, and I was thinking, I'm the only person here, there's nobody else here. So, without further ado, and me stopping twittering, we'll have a walk in and we'll see what's changed. So last time I came, I landed in this little area here. Surada is going to help me with any questions I have. She's very kind of her. So remember, in the last one I did of this area, it was called the Enchanted Forest, and it was the home of Ahochida. That was the video. It was last March, a year ago March. And in this area, this was very much a seating area. It was all flattened down, and I could walk right out of that end. So this now, let's just come to this side here. It's very cosily kept. It's like the only way in and out is through here. This area is, this pathway is blocked off. That area there, very, very protected. If you sat in there, no one would see you. This area, this little area that I'm in here, just this little square you can see in front. And so if you sat here, absolutely no one would see you. But these have been deliberately sort of pulled down. These are good watching points. These are observation points. So when they are in their physical, they can observe what's going on. Now, we have not seen this before. We have not seen this. wonder if I should go round this side of it. I wonder if it looks different. So as it looks from an aerial view. First time I've seen that. So just as a special for me, the weather's decided to do what it usually does and cloud over and be very dark and miserable. So I hope that you're able to see, clearly enough in here. So I think, you want to point me in a direction, Surada, of which would be of interest to me? So she's saying this way. Keep going. Right a little. Straight now? Yeah. It's much more sparse, isn't it, here? So this felt very, very calm, and it still does. Feels incredibly calm in here. And I felt that this was where, I was given to believe this was where Ahochida and Edga resided. So they did their directions here, purposing and repurposing the trees for gathering energy. So my thought is, I wonder if the tree structures we see, where they're bent, altered, I wonder if that is visible in their world as well as in ours, but they see more things that are going on around it than we do. That is correct, my dear. So I think this is what she's led me to. Bones, scapula by the looks. A joint or two. It looks like a rib cage of some kind, and spine. See the way they're just left there? They're always like a spine, that. And of course, the wire stick cone on top of it. I think that cone is just there naturally. So is this an area that that somebody has sat recently? And this hair, does this belong to the creature? It's grey. I cannot see a skull anywhere. I'm assuming it's some, I would say a rabbit, maybe. But I'm being corrected. A hare. Looks like a large one with that rib cage. Oh, let's see what's down here. So we're at the bottom edge of this little area of forest, where it goes out into greenery. But that's not the reason for me being here. This is. So this here, follow it, and it's over the top of this one here, and then it's underneath this one, And then there's this. Now these are different trees. These are mainly birch that they've used, forms of birch in here, different types of birch. So this here is a lena. Let's look at that. Follow that up. Keep your eye on the background as well. Follow that up. That's got to be a 12, 14 foot tree, and it goes even higher. It follows in an archway. That's been placed there. It is not growing. It's not growing there. And in between you have this located. Alright, so this is the end of the tree. Follow it, see, follow the line. Almost looks like cable, but it's not, it's a tree. And you can see where it ends up over there. How long is that? About 20 feet. That's quite interesting. I've not seen that. I'm going to step over it. She said try not to touch that, so I think what happens if I was to touch that particular thing, it would disrupt the energy that is held within. And I can hear her saying as well, and the thought. We must get into the way of thinking about things in thought. And what have we here? A wing. It's a pheasant, remains of a pheasant. Is it a gift? Have you left it here as gifting? For... Right, what she's saying is it's a grouse wing. So now I understand its significance. If you remember Ahochida, her mother, Ahochida, who transitioned earlier in the year, Ahochida's nickname, pet name, was Little Grouse. So Surada is saying to me, this is an interesting area for me. So I'll do a full 180. And from where I am standing here, we've got this low level break. You can see where it's broke there. So if I just raise my field of vision up, and we're going to look over here, I'm going to zoom in onto it. Dead centre of the screen here. Can you see that? Now if I zoom out of that, I'm going to ask her, are they directional? They certainly are, because they are pointing in the same direction as that. I honestly do not know how people can go walking in forests and not see this kind of stuff. But then again, people don't walk in a forest, they walk on the track. Now this is like a giant sort of spider's web. Now it's quite boggy down there, so I'm not going to go anywhere near that because I will sink. But if you took, and I'm going to take this as the centre, this tree in the middle here as the centre, and then you have that coming out here, that one going up there, and then across here, this one going up there, and this here. So it's very radial, isn't it? Something segmented about that. And that would be a Y-shaped tree. Don't want to go too close to it. On here, let me zoom in on this. But of course, that Lena is a Y shape there. I feel like I'm seeing imagery right in the crook of that Y shape. So, is there anything on the ground here? Right. And then we have another one of these low-level breaks that's kind of attached to those trees in a different, it's like forming like a star shape. This little selection of branches can you see them? They're a different tree. They are not the same tree as the host that's holding it. Birch tree and pine tree. So Surada is saying they hold different types of energy. Right, she's saying it's to do with wavelength. Oh my word. What the? That couldn't be it. Just saw somebody. Did I see somebody here? Surada? I see somebody in there. Did I say something? Right, so she says you've just caught me. I would call it, as in me, I would call it a semi-state. I knew I'd seen something there. There's a face peering right out in front of there. And as I moved, of course, it almost faded from view. She's laughing. She says, yes, we can do that. Bless her. Thank you. Thank you for that, Surada. Another footprint there. Do we have another? I know people say these could be humans' footprints, but you'd be a complete lunatic if you would wander around here barefoot. This is of significance as well. So did you gather these sticks here? She's saying yes. I'll try not to stand on this. But we've got one line here and up like that. Got a horizontal. Got another horizontal. Horizontal. And a horizontal. Am I reading that correctly? And they get their power from which one? This one? Yes. So that one is leaning on the root of this tree. When you say their power, do you mean, she says, like a socket? So they get their power from their energy. What she's saying is their energy. But we would read it like a socket. Step right across that. Does this stuff matter? It absolutely matters. Absolutely. Ahochida and Edgar, when we were frequenting this area, they would use a portal, like getting a bus. Hop on the portal. So is Surada physically walking alongside me at this moment? And the answer to that is remote viewing. Am I correct? Yep. Using the orb. She said, please say using the orb. Thank you, Surada. Something really nice about walking through autumn leaves. kicking your way through autumn leaves. A pheasant. The beautiful, beautiful feathers. See how lovely they are? Absolutely stunning. That was a late pheasant. So I thought I would introduce you today to Davigeo. We have spoken to him. He's a very funny man, but thought we'd introduce you to Davigeo, to his family. Now Davigeo is a little bit younger than Abaq. Now these guys rib each other, and he's said, but much better looking. Thank you, Davigeo. So Davigeo, he is 57. He was born in 1964. And his name means beloved of the world. Geo, of course, being used as the word, from a word meaning the world, I guess. Now his mate, his partner, she is called Aseo. And Aseo was born in 1979, and she is 42. Her name means deepest heart. So they have some children. Their oldest child is a female. She's 27. She was born in 1994. And her name is Masageo. Now Masageo, the word, the name, means shield. And Masa, I think, is similar in that we would use massif, you know, the massif. So anyway, it means a windsill, a rocky outcrop. Now, she is not so mobile, and she does things like carrying and fetching. And Davigeo did say to me she loves some of the music I play, that she loves rhythm and sound. I think that's really nice. So she's the oldest. Then we have a male who is 24, and his name is Abaq, Abaque. He is 24. His name is Mercury, Quicksilver, of course. Now he is one of a triplet. He has a chosen path, which is he's a warrior, and he has followed in Davigeo's footsteps with inherited rights, as it were. I guess this is because he is the oldest male. Then next we have, also age 24, we have Jessica. She is a female. Her name, Jesaka, it's the way they spell it. Beautiful name, means child of the universe. So they were born, Abaq and Jessica were born in 1997. Jessica has a mate, and he is called Brazo, B-R-A-Z-O. He's 32, and he originates from the Swedish-Finnish border, so near where this family's origin started off. And they have 4 children. So our friend Davigeo is a grandpa. Davigeo is somewhat a card. He's quite funny. He really is. He says, and a very handsome one too. Now, on a more serious note, you'd heard me say there was a triplet. So, Abaq and Jessica are 2 of 3. So they lost. They had a loss here. There was one child that was lost. So that must have been very difficult for Aseu and for Davigeo. Very difficult. So then we have a 19-year-old male, and he is also called Davigeo, meaning mountains of the world. He is a plantsman and a herbalist, and he is with his father's namesake, who was also called Davigeo, and this was Ahochida's oldest brother. And he was a plantsman, so he is learning from the finest, from the absolute finest. Then next, there's a 16-year-old. Oh, I have to go back here. Davigeo Jr., the son of Davigeo here, he has a girlfriend. I have to tell you that, he has a girlfriend. So there is a 16-year-old, and she is called Surada. She is great buddies with Leola. Now, at the time, Davigeo was reminding me when I was asking about this, he was shaking his head. He says, "You've no idea. You have no idea." So I have a feeling that these two have great, great fun. I think they may be little whirlwinds of energy. Maybe not so little. So then we have a 14-year-old male. And he is called Jamu. 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 And that name means fearless. So then there's a 12-year-old. And she was born in 2009. And her name is Saskaboo. Isn't that beautiful names? Saskaboo, scent of the forest. Now, he tells me, Davigeo tells me, that Saskaboo hangs out with Gefeba and Abiba, and they are a force to be reckoned with. So Gefeba and Abiba are sort of 13, 14-year-old, and I imagine they get up to all sorts of fun and games. So next we have a 9-year-old. She is a female, and her name is Zola. Z-O-L-A. And her name means center of the earth. Then the youngest is 6. And she's a female. And how fitting that we are in this particular forest, because her name is Ahochida. And I think that's really, really a lovely name. So this is Davigeo, Abaq's younger brother by 2 years. So Abaq and Davigeo are closest in age, and I think they are very much like a right-hand man. Davigeo will be Abaq's right-hand man. It's a wing. That's a whole wing. That's another whole wing. One of the questions that I had from a sub was, who puts these stones in piles? Do I put them on the piles? And as you can see, that's an old tree stump. Do I put them on there? No. Anything that is on a stump of any kind or any stone pile is not or has not been left by me. Just a bag. Distance wise, there. So, as I say, short distance. But what I did find interesting was this bag. See that? Who puts a bag on a stick? Who do you know that does that? Do you know any animals that do that? Because I sure as heck don't. So I wondered if I take it off there. It's quite hard to get off. And I'm looking at the stick to see if there's anything of significance with it. It's not a particular shape. I think what they're showing us is that they can move things if they want to. And I wonder if this is their sitting area where they might sit and have some food. Maybe this is the case. So we'll just quickly go through the bags, see if we can find anything on them. That's a big slit there and a hole. What about this thing here? Oh, that's monkey-ish. Oh, there's another slit there. See if I can show you. There. Well, the contents of this bag have gone. And there isn't even a hole in it. That runner at the top is still sealed. So they got the stuff out of there somehow. Magicked it out, or maybe they just opened the bag and resealed it. Well, this week we've got apricots, we've got hazelnuts, cinder toffee, and this is fillets of mackerel, smoked mackerel, and cashew nuts. So they make quite a pretty colourful display. We've also got some peanut butter, and I'm only going to show you this because if we look very closely here, see that bit of paper and the seal? It's not been tampered with at all. That seal is just as you would buy it, and I have not opened it, so somebody has got to use their hands to open that, and that's all I'm really showing you. Someone's got to twist that off to open it. So I've just arranged these marbles and that textured sphere, textured ball in a particular shape. See if they do anything with that. Apples. Lovely, lovely Braeburn apples. Pink ladies. A mango. Oh, another mango. Colour of that. Apples. These are more Braeburns. Another mango. The mango at the moment are absolutely delicious. They really are. And then we've got our incense sticks and the peanut butter. Like I say, it's still, I'll show it to you, it's still got the seal unopened, untorn. So we'll see how they get on with that next week. So that's all the incense sticks. I'm just going to turn that round. And then we've got apricots, hazelnuts, mackerel, cashew nuts, and the honeycomb. So that's our tree. I'm going to tell you about a very special gift that I received. And this came from Afeanean. And during the week I was very, very tired and I needed to get to sleep. I'd been working through the night and I must have said out loud, I just want to go to sleep. So I collapsed in a heap in my bed, as you do when you're tired. And I felt this, hold your hand out, stretch your hand out. So if you like, my hand was actually like that. You should turn your hand over so it's palm up. And I could feel, very, very strangely, I could feel this like bubble gum being pulled out of each finger. Now I didn't feel another finger touch mine, it was just like bubble gum coming out the ends. And she says, you've got a lot of negative energy. She said, I'm just going to take this out of you. So she's pulling this out. And I could feel it. It felt elasticy, like stretchy bubble gum. That's what it felt like, being pulled out of my fingers. But I couldn't see it. There was nothing to see. Then I felt this pressure on my hand. Ever so gentle. And it wasn't like a hand touching you, it was like a pressure, almost like an air pressure changed, and it was just there, round in circle, right round in circle, ever so gentle. And it continued. Couldn't believe it, and I said, I know what you're doing, I've had reflexology like this, and you're doing it on my hands. And it was a most amazing feeling. Relaxing. It was a beautiful gift to bring. What a gift. What an amazing gift. And so for that, for Afeanean, for what she did, I want to say a great big thanks. That was absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Afeanean. How could they do that? Were they in my house? They do they unlock the doors, trot up the stairs? It doesn't work like that. And it's like remote viewing. It's a form of kinetic energy. And I had asked, I said, can you help me sleep, make me sleep? And she had done that. Isn't that beautiful? It was a really, really beautiful gift. These are just one of the experiences that these people give for us, help with us. Personally speaking, I think it's absolutely amazing. It's a great honour. It is a great honour. And I just thought I would tell you that story. And there's so much in the positive with these people. I don't come across negatives with them. They're just wonderful, wonderful people. And I hope I'm a worthy pupil. So I'll leave it with you, and I'm going to say goodbye from Moonmoth today. We've spent a little time up in Ahochida's area and now come down here, and we'll leave them in peace. And we've left a lot of bits and snacks for them, little bits and pieces. So we're going to wish them all love, great deal of thanks, but lots of love, because we love them dearly. And as Abaq said to me earlier in the week, I'd asked him a question and I said, oh, thanks, big brother. And I could hear him like, you're welcome, little sister. See, they're really cool. Very cool. So thank you. Be kind in word, thought and deed. Stay safe, folks. Bye.